Welcome back. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. Our the next topic of focus is the No Banking Day. We'll be talking to Channels Television's business producer, Temple Ashaju, who is on the street to give us a sense of what's going on. Temple, great to have you on the show.
All right, thank you.
So, are the ATMs empty, or have you been able to go into any of the banks? Are the banking halls empty? What's actually going on?
I've been going around town, Harriet, and I can see ATM machines being used by bank customers. Of course, they're making withdrawals. First of all, it is the month of February just ended, and this is the first day in the month of March. So, have run short of cash. They need to actually get to the bank to make withdrawals, either through the machines or from the over the counter, and this is actually going on. Now,
Okay,
all the 25 banks in Nigeria currently have their doors open, and I see a lot of customers going into those banks to make withdrawals. Banking halls are filled with customers. And finding out from people, what I've been hearing is that, look, this arbitrary charges mantra is not something that cuts across all banks. According to what the soundbites I've gathered so far, has it that, look, most banks are currently charging, the stamp duties as well as various other charges, maintenance fees, and all of that. But in other banks, you can't find that. Now, I don't want to mention names of banks, but of course, this is just what I have heard from people. It's only a few Nigerians that are currently on day.
Well, thank you so much, Temple, for giving us that. Of course, so we'll talk to you in the course of the day to get more updates on what's going on. And I'm sure, Temple, you're not boycotting the ATMs or the banking halls either. We'll talk to you later on, of course, to get more on what's going on outside. But here with me in the studios is the president of the Consumer Rights Advancement Organization, Adeola Ogunbanjo. He's also very loudly protesting today. Silent protest, no banking day. Thank you so much for joining me on the program this morning.
Thank you.
So, Temple has just told us what's going on. Yes, they try to get Nigerians to actually support this cause, no banking day, but then customers are still using ATMs and going into the banks. Of course, it's the end of the month, so maybe that will be one of the reasons why this might not succeed. But tell us why your organization in particular, is holding this No Banking Day.
Thank you very much. I must tell you that it's been on for a while, and somehow the central bank did intervene to say, okay, sorry, COT charges no more, although they've gone ahead to bring in another one naira per meal, but at least that's minimal. Initially it was 5 naira per meal. But right now, the banks are now charging excessively. There's account maintenance charge. There's 50 naira charge on every electronic transfer, cash or check deposits. Apart from that, depending on the banks, like Temple did say earlier in an interview, some banks charge 4 naira per SMS, some 100 naira per SMS that they send to you. Now, I won't mention banks, but there you are, that must be a service. It shouldn't be a charge. Again, when you look at the 1 naira per meal on all debit transactions on current account, that is another way of saying COT is back, and yet the CBN, took it off,
But then the CBN has also said that if you have such challenges, there is a department to channel your complaints to, the Consumers Protection Department. Have you or anybody in your organization tried to use that avenue?
One, the CBN sometimes are the one that will issue, some of these directives, or it's a policy. Okay, excessive charges. If, for instance, you are charged excessively in 2009, it's a CBN guideline that now says that, or directive that now says that you cannot be, you know, I mean, excessive charges can only be limited to 6 years from now. So if, for instance, I have excessive charges since 2009 or 2008, I can only be granted 6 years.
Okay, so the next question I'm going to ask is, what do you hope to achieve? What does your organization hope to achieve with this protest?
Right. Just to tell you that all the banks and the CBN, thank God they are now reacting, excessive charges and all that, you should report. Before now, they never told us they had a consumer desk. We are now knowing that they have a consumer desk. We want the world to know. We want to make a statement. Such charges as funds transfer charge, such charges as bank statement print out charge. If, for instance, they send it to your, if you don't have an access to email, and you now want, you know, to go to the bank and say, give me a printout, they charge you as much as 250 naira.
But these are not charges that are only, you know, peculiar to Nigerian banks. Banks across the world charge for services rendered. But then, of course, depending on what exactly the transaction that it is that you're doing, it depends on also the charges that you should incur.
Yes, the other banks in other claims charge minimally. Nigerian banks charge excessively. This is rather excessive. For instance, if you want to do a bank draft, you pay as much as 2,000–3,000 naira. Why? They also declare some accounts dormant. If you are not, you know, doing one or two things there in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, they now declare your account dormant. I know that a lot of people have accounts over there in the UK. Several years is there. Issue a check to anyone, they get it. But here, they will say, sorry, they won't pay you, and your account is now declared dormant.
Okay.
So we want to make a statement, we want the world to know that, look, Nigerian banks are charging excessively.
So, Mr. Ogunbanjo, you and your other members as a Consumer Rights Advancement Organization will continue, including other Nigerians who want to take part in this No Banking Day, will continue this silent protest of excessive bank charges, and I hope that your message will be gotten loud and clear. But thank you so much for coming on the program this morning.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
And that's it on today's edition of Business Morning. Many thanks for staying with us. If you are part of those who are boycotting the banks, let's know. And if you are continuing your transactions like normal, let's also know as well. But then today's protest of No Banking Day is just to protest the excessive bank charges. That's it on today's edition of the program. I'm Harriet Agbeni. Have a profitable day.